Addictions are never easy to confront or conquer. Prescriptions for opiates can turn scary when the patient becomes dependent and starts to take them recreationally. In 2012, opiate prescription painkillers were the second most abused illicit drug, and 4 times as many people were addicted to and dependent on painkillers than heroin. And that's what happened to our next guest, John Friend, when he had a back injury in college and was given a prescription for opiate. He then started taking them recreationally, and you know what? He'll be the first one to tell you that he's lucky to be alive, and he's here sharing his story with us, and he brought along Dr. Rubenstein to talk about opiate addictions and how we can confront them and conquer them. I want to thank you gentlemen both for being here. Now, John, can you start to tell us a little bit about your story and your road to recovery?
Absolutely, and again, thanks for having me here. My road to recovery began when I was 19. I was a freshman in college, and I injured my back while weightlifting, and I got a prescription for OxyContin, and I began to become heavily involved with finding more and more prescriptions, and I was so addicted that I needed the medication to feel normal. Was not to get high or to use it recreationally or just for fun. So eventually I found out that there were treatment options that exist for that, and from the privacy of my own doctor's office, I get a medication called Suboxone sublingual film. I can take it daily at home or wherever, and along with counseling and psychosocial support, I've been granted this wonderful blessing to reconnect with my family and loved ones and friends and regain stability and control of my life and not have to be so focused on getting more and more painkillers.
Well, John, I'd like to tell you that, congratulations, because an opiate addiction is very difficult to overcome, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us today, because I know that's not easy as well. And doctor, let's take a look back. What are opiates? What are prescriptions that are of the opiate family?
Well, prescriptions of the opiate family include things like hydrocodone, oxycodone, fentanyl. They come in patch, they come in pill form. You might get it in the ER from your local doctor, from a pain specialist. But the reality is that the issue here isn't so much about people choosing to use them recreationally. It's that doctors are prescribing them for legitimate purposes. But many people end up either abusing or becoming dependent on them, and then their lives change. This is an epidemic in this country. In 2013, there were nearly 2.4 million reports of people aged 12 and older in the U.S. either abusing or dependent on opioids. So we are here now today to sort of say, the stigma and shame and hiding, away from others needs to stop. We want to bring this out into the light and say that opioid dependence is a chronic disease. It affects the brain, has lasting effects, and needs to be treated like any other chronic disease. Fortunately, doctors can now do that in their offices, and trained doctors are available in every single community in the U.S. for this.
So where can we find our doctors that are trained to do this to help us?
There's a website, Suboxone.com, Suboxone.com, and that will have information not only on the symptoms, where you can fill out questions to see if a loved one that you're seeing has changes in their behavior, might actually have this problem. You can see information on the illness itself, many treatment options, and you can be connected to a physician in your community with special training who can actually prescribe Suboxone film along with psychosocial support and counseling, so that you can be someone who's actually getting your life back in the direction that you imagined and no longer feel loss of control.
Well, doctor, thank you so much for bringing this to the light. Like you said, no longer should people be ashamed. They should just take control of their life and, conquer that addiction. And John, I want to say congratulations to you on your road to recovery, and thank you both so much for joining us this morning to talk about this important issue.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been an honor.
Thank you. It has been.
Happy holidays. Stick around. The Morning Blend will be right back.